Hey, it's not really dark yet. It's almost 4 on the 21st of December 2022. I'm trying to eat my first meal of the day. No breakfast, no lunch. This is a cold salad. Open a can of tuna with a can opener is not working that great. And some ingredients I bought that is, a change of what I usually eat. And so when I say cold salad, I mean cold salad. It's like really cold. I had to buy another extension cord today because where I'm getting electricity for my heaters, and the cheapest heater that somebody gave me one time, I think it's not heating a lot and it's draining electricity. So I bought a second plug to plug in a different place so we don't have to always reset the breaker. So that's it was on sale. It was still $40 plus tax for this extension cable that hopefully nobody will steal. And then I'm always worried because this is super cold again tonight, minus 20 something. And but now at least I'm split on two different cable, unless they're on the same breaker. They could be, I'm not sure. The two plugs that I chose. And so yeah, it's a problem to solve at a time. Now I'm going to send requests to the Ministry of Poverty Creation of BC. And I call them that because, again, I have multiple requests at the same time. And when somebody answers, you can tell not only do they not know me as a person because we don't have our own workers, but another way that the Ministry of Poverty Creation drains the funds meant to the vulnerable sector. And I don't consider myself vulnerable sector. I consider myself very, very strong. You are very, very weak because I refuse to sell my humanity away during the Anthropocene and continue to be part of the problem like I was before one of you. You got to be pretty strong to survive what I've survived so far in different countries, looking for the elusive Homo sapien. I know there isn't any in Canada there, so I'm going to try to keep going somewhere else at some point. It'd be nice to find the 0.04% that maybe it would take weeks to, if not months, to determine if I find that person that they are living consistently without effort based on the definitions of sentience and sapience. So the Ministry of Poverty Creation, when they don't even bother, sometimes months later, okay, or more than a month on a service request, and sometimes it's about something else and they send $40 for food, and you can tell, man, it's like they pick and choose the minimal effort to close a file and believe they've saved somebody's soul, like the people that work at the shelter here, and but that are so self-centered. So they do the path of least resistance, which creates the most resistance for us, because not only do they not look at the files that we have open for service requests at the same time, but they don't look in the past. So we repeat ourselves, and then we have to have expenses to go to an office. We say, oh, I'll take care of it. I'll take care of that for you. And maybe they will, but only a percentage of the issue. They'll still avoid what was flawed with their system, which will screw you again. They'll still avoid, all of them have avoided the multiple topics of fraud that they are involved in so far. I wonder if they'll do the courts in Quebec where I'm taking a health authority to court. I actually had somebody from there saying, here's how you add us as co-defendant. And I think they haven't responded to me because they're waiting for me to do that. So somebody there knows it's screwed up in there, and they want me to take the court to court along with the health authority as a co-defendant. Except that BC Ministry of Poverty Creation have been complaining for more than 15 years. And we're the punching bags, the people that you would consider to be the vulnerable sector, and most of them would be. And I'm a hard worker, by the way. I just volunteered 72 hours a week in a place where they kicked me out because I wasn't religious. And yet they're gonna be in so much more hardships for kicking me out. It's not just I'm not religious, as I demonstrate more sainthood behavior, let's say, than they do, and which is even more uncomfortable with them. So the Ministry of Poverty Creation, let's say you go to an office, say I'll take care of it. Well, the typical worker will work really hard just to solve a tiny bit of what you were there to talk about with your additional expenses. But really, with the way things have gone for a long time, when the public servants there haven't gone on strike early on as if they cared about themselves, if not others that they serve, they haven't done it. So now it would be like you would need an investigative manager for every client. that receive social assistance in BC to fix the issues that keep growing. It's pretty ridiculous. Sometimes you can tell they read a little bit of other things, and then they find they can somehow not get in trouble with their supervisors and feel like their pension is threatened by giving $40 for something that is like so out of the topic of the file they're responding to. It's ridiculous. So anyways, it's pretty cold, okay? And I'm telling you, like 2 pairs of socks at night and a balaclava with a toque on top of it and pajama pants, very thick ones, is not what I usually sleep with, okay? And that's when I have heaters still. And the cold coming from the floor, which has so much rust here, is not really a solvable issue. There's a hotel here with not even 5% of the rooms taken. You would think somebody like me so far that proves himself a problem solver and a kind, respectful, patient person would get a room. And I could even say, hey, you don't need to clean it. You can just come inspect it once a week. I'll pay $400. And I'll even pay for the continental breakfast if I feel like it once in a while. You don't have to include it. But no, it's totally outside of the norm of capitalism. And yet I'm pretty sure that they would think they're doing me a favor for being in their parking lot, possibly freezing to death if I wasn't strong, if I was weak and not a problem solver. And they would say, oh, we tried to save his soul, or we helped him as much as we could, while we had 95% of our rooms that he could, we can inspect, that he keeps clean, he doesn't do drugs, he doesn't get drunk, he doesn't invite people. Speaking of inviting people, okay, this is a joke. I'm going to finish on a joke for my psychohistory for today. Is, let's say I met a girl and she liked me. Say, oh, you live in Mora? Oh, okay, you've got, the internet here, access. We can watch on Netflix or something. I want to watch this movie. It's on Netflix. I tell you, I don't know of any girlfriend I've loved or that's loved me in the past that would live with me right now more than a week, okay? And you can tell, what is love? What is love? Because it's not somebody, I can't find a sapiophile, okay? And he would say, well, if you're so smart, why? And again, don't want to be part of the problem. Sentience and sapience. Doesn't mean I don't want to work. It just means a lot of the work I even apply for, you close the doors because you feel uncomfortable about your lack of humanity. That includes volunteerism. So this is a joke. Okay, I had a girl over and we were both enjoying this movie. We kind of felt like we were touched at the same time with the movie, and hands are moving and a little bit of kissing. And then we were going to go farther, but we couldn't find it. It was so freaking cold in here, we couldn't find it.